Evan Hawley had worked on many dangerous planets before, but Vioran 6 was different. The storms here were violent, unpredictable, and loud enough to shake the metal walls of the mining outpost where he stayed. Most workers avoided going outside during storm season. But Evan was stubborn, and tonight, he decided to check the power panels before the next strike of lightning hit Dot as he stepped into the cold wind. The sky roared like a creature waking from sleep. Dust and blue sparks floated in the air. His helmet scanner picked up something strange, a heat signature moving weakly in the distance. At first, he thought it was an animal, but the shape was too big and trying to crawl. Evan frowned. Who the hell is out there in this storm? He followed the signal, boots sinking into soft metallic sand. The lightning flashed again, and he saw him clearly, an alien man, tall, armor cracked, blood dripping down his side. He looked like he had been in a fight and lost badly. The alien lifted his head slowly and stared at Evan with glowing silver eyes. "Help," the alien whispered before collapsing face first into the sand. Evan rushed forward. He rolled the man gently and checked his pulse. Still alive, but very weak. Evan had seen many alien species before, but this one was unfamiliar. His skin had faint blue scales, and his armor carried noble marking symbols of a high-ranking family. "Great," Evan muttered. "If he dies, they'll blame me." Another thunderstrike hit nearby. The storm was getting worse. Evan had no time to think. He grabbed the alien under the arms and dragged him back toward the outpost. The man was heavy like lifting a steel beam, but Evan didn't stop. Inside the shelter, the doors slammed shut behind him. Evan laid the alien on a table, removed his broken armor, and patched the wounds with the emergency kit. The alien groaned in pain but didn't wake. For the next hour, Evan worked nonstop. He stopped the bleeding, stabilized the breathing, and warmed the alien's body. A normal human would have died in this storm. Whoever this alien was, he had fought hard to stay alive. Finally, the alien opened his eyes. He looked around the room slowly, confused, weak, but alive. "You saved me," the alien said in a deep, calm voice. Evan shrugged. "You were out there dying. I wasn't about to leave you. I am Jorek, leader of Clan Vaelthur." Evan paused. "Leader?" That explained the armor markings. He had not rescued an ordinary alien, he had saved a powerful clan chief. Before Evan could respond, a sudden bang on the door made him jump. His scanner beeped with red warnings. Something or someone was outside. Jorek's eyes sharpened. "They followed me." "Who followed you?" Evan whispered. "The ones who want my place. The ones who want me dead." Evan checked the security camera. A group of alien soldiers in dark armor were circling the outpost. They carried weapons shaped like glowing blades. They looked trained and extremely dangerous. "Great," Evan sighed. "I saved a VIP with assassins on his tail." Jorek struggled to sit up. "You must leave. They will kill you to reach me." Evan shook his head. "If I leave, you die. If I stay, at least you have a chance." Jorek stared at him, shocked. Not many would risk their life for a stranger, not especially for an alien. Evan activated the lockdown protocol, sealing the outpost. The assassin group tried cutting through the metal walls. Sparks flew. "We're trapped," Evan muttered. Jorek placed a clawed hand on Evan's arm. "Human, why do you help me?" Evan didn't have a heroic answer. "Because it's the right thing to do." The alien closed his eyes slowly, as if memorizing the words. The assassins finally broke through the first layer of metal. Evan grabbed a plasma cutter, his only weapon. He took a stand near Jorek, ready for whatever came next. But before the assassins could enter, a deafening roar filled the air. A massive ship descended from the clouds, lights blazing. The assassins scattered. The outpost scanner flashed with a new signal: Clan Vaelthur Rescue Squad. Evan stepped back as armored warriors stormed the area, chasing off the attackers. The moment the danger passed, the rescue squad entered the outpost. At the center stood a tall alien woman with silver eyes like Jorak's, but sharper, colder, and full of authority. She looked at Evan, then at her father. "Father, you live." Jorak nodded weakly. "Because of him." The woman turned to Evan. Her expression changed, a strange mixture of shock, respect, and something else. "I am Ariella, daughter of Jorak," she said. "By the law of our clan, if someone saves the life of the clan leader, the rescuer is bound to the leader's family." Evan frowned. "Bound?" Ariella stepped closer, her voice low. "It means I am required by our ancient law to become your future wife." Evan stared, speechless. Storms, assassins, alien royalty. He could deal with all that, but this he never expected. Ariella's eyes locked with his, serious and unblinking. "You saved my father. Now, by law, I belong to you." And that was the moment Evan realized his life had changed forever. Evan stood frozen, unable to understand what he had just heard. Ariella's voice was calm, steady, and certain, but her eyes revealed that even she didn't fully like what she was saying. He finally managed to speak. "Wait, future wife? There must be some misunderstanding." Ariella shook her head slowly. "There is no misunderstanding. The law of our clan is older than our cities. Whoever saves the life of the clan leader earns a life bond with the leader's bloodline. I am the only heir, so the bond falls on me." Jorak, still weak, nodded in agreement. "It is true, human. You are now tied to our family. Refusing the bond is a great insult." Evan ran a hand through his hair. He had saved a dying man in a storm. He didn't expect to be thrown into alien marriage politics. "I wasn't trying to earn anything," he said. "I just didn't want him to die." "That does not matter," Ariella replied softly. "The law does not care about intention, only the act." Behind Ariella, the armed rescue squad watched Evan with silent respect and hidden curiosity. To them, he was now someone very important, someone dangerous to offend. Evan could feel the weight of their eyes on him like invisible chains. One of the warriors stepped forward. "Princess, we must return to the ship. More assassins could be near." Ariella nodded, but her gaze stayed locked on Evan. "You must come with us. If you stay here, you will be hunted. The same enemies who came for my father will come for you now." Evan stared at the damaged outpost walls. They were already cracked from the first attack. If another group arrived, he wouldn't survive. He sighed. "Fine, but just to stay alive, not because of this bond thing." Ariella didn't argue. She simply turned and led him outside. The storm had weakened, but the sky still growled with distant thunder. A massive silver ship floated above them, humming like a giant heartbeat. Evan had seen alien ships before, but never one this beautiful. Its surface shimmered like liquid metal, shifting colors with every flash of lightning. A ramp lowered, and the guards escorted Jorak on board. Evan followed, unsure what waited for him on the other side. Inside, the ship felt alive. Veins of blue light pulsed along the walls, and the air smelled like cold rain mixed with electricity. Evan looked around, amazed and slightly nervous. Ariella walked beside him but kept a small distance, as if unsure how close she was allowed to be. He finally asked, "Do you even want this bond?" Ariella's steps slowed. For the first time, she looked unsure. "I was trained to follow the law. I never questioned it. Until now. Because I'm human?" Evan asked quietly. "No," she said quickly. "Because you saved my father without desire for reward. Most would have taken advantage. You did not." She looked away. "I fear you will reject the bond. And if you reject it, I will be punished." Evan stopped walking. "Punished? For what?" "For failing to complete my duty." Her voice became colder, trying to hide her fear. "They will strip me of my title. Make me live as a servant. Or worse. Evan felt anger rise in his chest. That's insane. You didn't choose this. A clan heir does not choose, she said softly. We obey. A sudden tremor shook the ship. The pilot's voice echoed through the air. Incoming enemy craft. Hold tight. The ship accelerated upward. Evan grabbed a railing to steady himself. Through the window, small dark ships chased them, firing beams of red light. Ariella stepped between Evan and the glass, shielding him. You see? She said, you are part of our conflict now. They will keep coming. Evan stared at her. Despite the danger, her posture was calm. Protective. Strong. She wasn't doing this because of a law. She was doing it because she believed he was now her responsibility. We cannot let them hit us, Ariella said. If they destroy the ship, the bond ends. And the bond cannot end until it is fulfilled, Evan sighed. Great, so enemies want me dead because of a law I didn't ask for. Not just a law, Ariella said quietly, a promise. The ship finally broke through the storm clouds, escaping the attackers. Evan released a long breath. Ariella turned to him again. There's one more thing you must understand, she said. Once the bond is announced to my clan, you will no longer be a simple human engineer. You will become part of our ruling bloodline. You will have enemies you never imagined. Evan looked into her silver eyes. He didn't know what he felt, fear, confusion, or curiosity, but he did know one thing. His life would never return to normal. Ariella bowed her head slightly. Evan Hale. From this moment, your fate is tied with mine. And deep within the ship, the ancient laws of her people awakened, waiting for the next chapter of their impossible bond. The ship drifted through the upper atmosphere of Aran 6, silent now after the escape. But inside, the tension only grew heavier. Evan followed Ariella down a curved hallway lit by soft blue lines. Everything looked advanced, elegant, and strangely peaceful, yet he could feel eyes watching him from every corner. Ariella stopped at a chamber door. You will stay here until we reach our city. Her voice sounded formal again, like she was trying to hide whatever she felt earlier. Evan stepped inside. The room was not a cell, but it wasn't exactly comfortable either, just a bed, a small table, and a window showing endless storms below them. He sat down and exhaled deeply. His life had turned upside down in just one night. Ariella lingered at the doorway. She wasn't leaving. She looked like she wanted to say something, but struggled. Evan finally broke the silence. You said earlier that someone wants me dead. Why? Ariella entered the room slowly and closed the door behind her. Because saving my father means you now have claim to something powerful, something many want for themselves. And that is? Our throne. Evan's mouth dropped. No. I'm not trying to be a king. I barely manage my laundry. Ariella's lips curved into a small, amused smile, the first he had seen. But it faded quickly. It does not matter what you want. Some clans hate the idea of a human gaining authority. They think you will corrupt our bloodline. Others simply fear change. She stepped closer, her silver eyes locking with his. And the ones who attacked your outpost? They believe killing you now will prevent the bond and keep the power within their hands. Evan rubbed his face. Great, so I'm a target just for breathing. Another tremor shook the ship. This time, not from an enemy attack. This shake was internal. The lights flickered. Ariella stiffened. That was from inside the ship. Before she could reach the door, an alarm blared. A robotic voice echoed. Security breach detected in engine hall. Intruder identified. Clan Korvac. Ariella's face darkened. Korvac. They are the ones who tried to kill my father last moon cycle. Evan stood. You mean they're on the ship? Yes, they must have infiltrated during the rescue. The alarm changed, tones sharper, more urgent. Intruder heading toward guest chambers. Evan's blood ran cold. That means They are coming here, Ariella finished, without hesitation. She pulled a glowing blade from her hip shaped like a dagger, but made of shifting blue plasma. Stay behind me, she ordered. The door slid open before she could even touch it. A tall armored alien in dark red stood there, its helmet decorated with sharp bone-like spikes. It raised a long energy spear. There he is, the intruder growled. The human who must die. Ariella blocked the doorway, her blade flashing bright. Step back, Korvac scum. You will not touch him. The intruder lunged. Ariella met the attack with incredible speed. Plasma sparked as blade clashed with spear. Evan backed away as their strikes filled the room with light. Ariella fought like a storm, fast, controlled, and unafraid. But the intruder was stronger than he expected. With one heavy strike, the intruder pushed Ariella back into the wall. Your clan is weak, he hissed. Your law is old. And your chosen mate is pathetic. Evan felt heat rush through him, not fear, but anger. I didn't ask for this bond, but I'm not going to let you kill me or her. The intruder turned toward him. Then die together. He raised the spear, but Ariella, furious now, launched herself forward, her blade cutting through the spear's shaft. She ducked under the intruder's arm, spun, and drove her blade into the weak spot between his armor plates. The intruder fell to his knees, choking. Ariella leaned close to his helmet. No human is pathetic. Remember that in your final breath. The intruder collapsed to the floor, unmoving. For a moment, everything was silent. Evan stared at her, breathing fast. You saved my life again. Ariella wiped her blade and looked away as if embarrassed. It is my duty. No, Evan said gently. It wasn't duty. You were angry. Ariella met his eyes, her voice softer. They disrespected you. They disrespected the bond. I could not allow that. Before Evan could respond, the ship's commander called over the intercom. Princess Ariella, we have cleared the ship. We are entering Vaelthur airspace. Prepare the human for arrival. Ariella straightened. We're almost home. Evan walked to the window. Below them, a glowing alien city appeared, tall silver towers rising from a world of blue forests and floating bridges. It was beautiful. And terrifying. Ariella stood beside him, her voice barely above a whisper. When we land, everything will change, even more than it already has. Evan took a slow breath. Enemies on every side. And I haven't even had breakfast. Ariella let out a tiny laugh, just one breath, but it carried warmth. You will not face them alone, she said. As the ship descended toward the capital. Evan realized something powerful. The enemies in the shadows were only the beginning. The real danger waited on the ground. The ship descended through the glowing clouds of Vaelthur, the homeworld of Ariella's clan. Evan stood at the wide window, staring at the alien city rising beneath them. Towers curved like living crystal, glowing softly in blue and silver. Floating platforms drifted between buildings, connected by energy bridges that shimmered like liquid light. It looked like a peaceful dream. But in Evan's chest, everything felt heavy. Ariella stood beside him, calm but tense. She kept her hands folded behind her back, trying to look strong for her people, though Evan could see the tightness in her jaw. She wasn't ready for what waited below. And neither was he. When the ship landed, the ramp opened to a massive platform. Alien citizens gathered, whispering as they saw Evan step out beside Ariella and Jorak. Their silver eyes widened with shock, curiosity, and judgment. Ariella moved closer to Evan, a small protective gesture she didn't realize she made. Stay close, she murmured. Jorak walked ahead, supported by guards. The crowd bowed deeply as he passed. But when they saw Evan, their expressions changed. Some looked afraid, others angry, a few curious. Ariella whispered, "They know you saved him. They know what that means." Yeah, I'm starting to understand, Evan muttered. They think I'm supposed to marry you? Ariella shot him a sideways glance. Do not say that loudly. They already believe it. And some will not accept it. The group moved through a giant archway into the royal hall. Columns rose like frozen waterfalls, and the air hummed with soft energy. At the far end waited the clan council, a group of elders with stern faces and long silver markings across their skin. The moment Evan entered, the whispers stopped. The hall fell silent. The eldest counselor spoke first. Human, you stand in our sacred house because you saved the life of our leader. We acknowledge your bravery. Another counselor leaned forward. But understand this, the bond law you have triggered is ancient. If you refuse it, you will insult our entire bloodline. Ariella stepped between Evan and the council. He has not refused anything. Do not speak as if he has. The council exchanged glances. One elder narrowed her eyes. Princess, your emotions are clouding your judgment. Ariella's voice sharpened. My loyalty is not emotion. It is duty. Evan could see her anger rising, not wild or uncontrolled, but cold and focused. A kind that came from years of being held to impossible standards. Jorak lifted a trembling hand. Enough. The human saved my life without hesitation. He acted with honor. He deserves our respect. The council bowed their heads slightly, but Evan could tell the tension wasn't gone. Not even close. The eldest elder turned to Evan again. You are now under our protection. You will stay within the palace until the bond is completed. For your safety, you may not leave on your own. Wait, I'm being kept here? Evan asked. Only until the ceremony, the elder replied. This is our law. Evan opened his mouth to protest, but Ariella lightly touched his arm, a silent warning. Later, when they reached a private corridor, Evan finally asked, So I'm trapped here? Ariella hesitated, then nodded. For now, yes. They want to control everything. If they let you leave, rival clans may kill you before the bond is official. And you? Evan asked. What happens to you? Ariella looked away. If you choose the bond, I gain protection. If you refuse, I lose everything. Evan's heart tightened. That's not fair. It never was, she whispered. A pair of guards approached, bowing to Ariella. Princess, the council requests you prepare the human for public announcement. Ariella tensed. Already? Yes, they want the people to see him. After the guards left, Ariella turned to Evan, her voice soft but trembling with hidden emotion. The announcement means everyone will know you are tied to me. It will make things harder. Some will celebrate. Some will hate you immediately. And what about you? Evan asked. Ariella hesitated again. The moment they see us together, they will expect me to act like your bond partner. Even if you have not decided yet. I don't want to force you into anything, Evan said. Ariella looked him in the eyes. You did not force me. The law did. Then for the first time her voice cracked, but even so, I did not want harm to come to you. Evan took a small step closer. Ariella, I didn't ask for this bond. But I also didn't ask for you to fight for me on that ship. And you did. So whatever happens, I'm not walking away from you. Her eyes softened, something warm flickering inside them, before she could respond. Loud horns echoed across the palace. It was time. Ariella straightened, her royal mask returning. The people are waiting. The doors opened to a massive balcony overlooking thousands of citizens. The crowd went silent as Ariella stepped forward with Evan beside her. In that moment, Evan understood something. This wasn't just a ceremony. This was the beginning of a storm far bigger than the one on Veorum 6, and he was now standing in the very center of it, whether he wanted to or not. Asterisk. The balcony stretched like a shining bridge above the enormous city. Thousands of alien citizens stood below, their glowing eyes fixed on Ariella and the human beside her. Evan felt like the entire planet was staring directly into his soul. Ariella stepped forward first, her posture straight and proud. Her voice carried across the crowd with a strength that did not match the uncertainty inside her. "People of Vaelthur," she announced, "my father lives because of this human. Honor him." The crowd bowed as one, but the air vibrated with mixed feelings. Respect, curiosity, and suspicion. Evan felt a dozen emotions pressing down on him: fear, confusion, and something heavier, the responsibility of standing beside a princess whose fate was tied to his. After the announcement, they were taken back inside the palace. Guards lined every corridor. The energy in the air felt sharp, like the whole place was holding its breath. Ariella led Evan into a training hall, a wide room with floating lights and marked battle zones. She kept walking until they reached the center. "You need to learn how to defend yourself," she said. "After today, you will attract even more enemies." "I thought they'd respect me after the announcement," Evan replied. Ariella shook her head. "Some will. Others will fear you. A human stepping into royal blood threatens their power." She threw him a practice staff. Evan caught it awkwardly. Ariella lifted her own staff with perfect grace. "Strike." Evan blinked. "What? Right now?" She attacked first. Evan barely blocked it. Her speed forced him backward, forcing him to react instead of think. Their staffs cracked together again and again as Ariella pushed him harder. "You must stay alive," she said between strikes. "Alive for yourself. Alive for this bond. Alive because I will not let them take you." Evan stopped, breathless. "You sound like you're trying to convince yourself." Ariella froze. For a moment, she looked vulnerable, like the princess mask had slipped. "I am trying to convince the world," she whispered. "And maybe convince the law that I am not just a tool." Before he could respond, horns echoed outside, warning horns. The palace windows flashed red. The ground trembled. Ariella ran to the nearest screen. "Enemy forces detected near the festival grounds," the system announced. "Clan Korvac is advancing." Evan felt his stomach twist. "They're attacking again?" Ariella grabbed her blade. "They want to destroy you and weaken my father's rule." Jorik appeared, leaning on a guard for support. His voice was rough but firm. "Ariella, Evan, you must help defend the city." Ariella protested. "Father, you should be resting." "This is my order," Jorik interrupted. "If the Korvac break through, they will hunt the human first." Evan felt fear tighten in his chest. But he also knew he couldn't hide behind others. Ariella placed a hand on his shoulder. "Stay close to me. Do not leave my side." The two of them rushed through the winding halls and stepped into the open plaza. Chaos spread around them, energy blasts streaked through the air, and guards clashed with armored Korvac soldiers. The sky shimmered with blue fire as the palace shield struggled to hold. Evan ducked as a blast hit the ground nearby. Ariella blocked another with her blade and pushed him behind a pillar. "You're not ready for direct battle," she said. "But you can watch my back." He nodded. His heart pounded, but he stayed focused. A Korvac soldier charged at Ariella. Evan reacted without thinking. He swung the staff, smashing it into the soldier's knee. The alien stumbled, and Ariella finished him with a precise strike. Ariella stared at Evan, surprised. "That was good. Guess your training worked faster than expected." She almost smiled, but her eyes filled with worry again. "Be careful. Do not die." More Korvac swarmed the plaza. Evan and Ariella moved together. She fought with incredible precision, and he supported her, blocking strikes and dodging blows. They worked like a single force, uneven, imperfect, but connected. The battle lasted minutes that felt like hours. Finally, the Korvac retreated, dragging their injured with them. The palace shield stabilized. The sky quieted. Ariella lowered her blade. Her breathing was heavy, but her eyes were blazing. "You fought beside me," she said softly. "You saved my life twice. I had to return the favor." Ariella stepped closer, so close their breath mixed. "Evan, you don't understand. When you stood with me in battle, you did something even the law cannot force." "What's that?" he asked quietly. "You chose me." Evan opened his mouth, but Ariella's expression suddenly changed. She looked past him, eyes widening. 3 council elders approached, their faces cold. The eldest one spoke. "Princess Ariella, the council has decided. After the bond ceremony, the human will be sent to the war front. It is our final ruling." Evan froze. Ariella's face turned to stone. "No, absolutely not." The elder continued. "The people must see him as a symbol of unity, and symbols must serve." Ariella stepped in front of Evan, furious. "You will not use him like this. If he goes to war, he will die. That is the council's decision." Ariella's voice trembled, cold, powerful, dangerous. "Then I will fight your decision, even if it destroys everything." The elders stared at her in shock. And in that moment, Evan realized the real war had only just begun. The council chamber was colder than any battlefield. Tall silver walls reflected the blue light of the crystal torches, making the room feel like a frozen cave. Evan stood at the center, surrounded by the clan's elders, each of them watching him like he was a dangerous creature that needed to be controlled. Ariella stood at his side, back straight, chin lifted. But Evan could see her hands trembling tiny. Controlled shakes she immediately hid behind her cloak. She was scared, but not for herself. She was scared for him. The eldest counselor stepped forward. "The human will join the war front in 7 cycles. This is our final command." Evan felt his stomach twist. War front? He had never held a real weapon until yesterday. Sending him into battle was suicide. Ariella took 1 step forward. "I challenge this command." A wave of gasps filled the room. Evan felt the air shift as if the whole chamber had stopped breathing. The elders stared at her. "Princess Ariella, you dare to challenge council order?" "I do," she said strongly. "Because this order is meant to kill him." Another elder folded her arms. "The human must serve the clan. The bond demands it." Ariella shook her head. "The bond demands protection, not sacrifice." The elders murmured in annoyance. The eldest one slammed a staff on the ground. "Your feelings cloud your duty." Ariella's eyes flashed. "My feelings have nothing to do with this. You want him dead so he will never affect clan politics." Evan swallowed hard. Hearing her defend him like this made something warm twist inside him, something he was afraid to admit aloud. The eldest elder stepped closer to Evan. "Human, you will obey. If you care for the princes, you will show honor and serve." Evan opened his mouth, unsure what to say, until Ariella suddenly stepped in front of him. Her voice louder than ever. "If you send him to war, then you must face me first." The room erupted in shocked whispers. Ariella continued, "I am the only heir of Clan Vaelthur. I will not allow the council to destroy the life of the one who saved my father. He did what none of you could do. And you repay him with death?" The elders smirked. "You speak as if the human means something to you." Ariella hesitated. It was only for a moment, but the council noticed. "We see," the elder said. "Your weakness grows." Ariella lifted her chin. "My strength grows. Because I choose what is right." The tension snapped like a rope. The elders huddled together, whispering among themselves. Evan's heart hammered in his chest. Ariella's future, her position, maybe even her life, depended on what they decided. Finally, the eldest elder turned around. "The council will vote." Evan held his breath. but he didn't need to wait long. One by one, the elders struck their staffs to the ground. "Send him to the war front." One said. "Send him," another agreed. A third paused. "He must not die, but he must serve." Only one elder whispered, "Protect the princess's choice." But it was not enough. Ariella closed her eyes, her jaw tightening. Evan felt helpless, angry, trapped. He wanted to speak, but she grabbed his hand just for 1 second, telling him silently, "Let me handle this." The elder raised his staff. "The decision stands." Evan suddenly stepped forward. "No." The entire room stared at him. Evan repeated, louder, "No, I won't run from this. If your law wants me to serve, then I'll serve. But I'm not doing it because you command me. I'm doing it because Ariella risked everything for me. And I won't let her face this alone." Ariella's eyes widened in shock. The room fell silent again. The elder studied Evan for a long moment. Spoken like one who understands honor. Ariella stepped closer to Evan, her voice shaking. "You don't have to do this. I challenge them for you." Evan looked into her eyes. "And I'm answering that challenge. Not for your law, but for you." Her breath caught. He could see it, the confusion, the fear, the warmth she tried to hide. The elder raised a hand. "If the human accepts service, we will allow a second vote." The staff struck the ground again. "Keep him alive." One elder said, "Let him serve in training first." Another suggested, "Protect the princesses." "Bond," the supportive elder added firmly. The eldest elder nodded slowly. "The council rules. The human will not be sent to war immediately. He will receive training and remain under the princess's command." Ariella let out a shaky breath of relief. Evan felt his tension loosen just a little. He wasn't safe, but he wasn't doomed either. The council dismissed them. As they walked down the long hall, Ariella suddenly stopped. Evan barely managed to turn before she spoke. "You didn't have to protect me like that," she whispered. Evan smiled softly. "You protected me first." Her eyes softened, silver glimmering like water in the moonlight. "Evan, when you stood there, I felt something I've never felt before." "What's that?" "That I'm not alone anymore." For a brief moment, it felt like the world around them slowed. The weight of the bond, the laws, the enemies, everything faded into the background. Evan reached out and gently touched her hand. "I'm with you, Ariella. No matter what comes next." Ariella squeezed his hand once before letting go, her cheeks faintly glowing. "We still face danger," she said softly. "Korvac prepares their strongest attack yet." Evan nodded. "Then we face it together." And with that promise, they walked forward into a future neither of them could predict, but one they would meet side by side. The night sky above the capital city shimmered with strange clouds, glowing softly like drifting lanterns. But the peaceful glow was a lie. Under that sky, the entire palace was preparing for the coming attack. Clan Korvac was marching toward them with their largest force yet. Evan could feel the tension everywhere. Guards sprinted through hallways. Crystals lit up with warning lights. The hum of protective shields echoed across the floors like vibrating thunder. Ariella stood at the highest balcony, gazing out toward the dark horizon. Silver armor covered her body, light but strong, shaped perfectly around her royal markings. She looked like a warrior queen, a protector born from fire and duty. Evan joined her silently. "You don't have to stand here," Ariella said without turning. "Everything tonight will be dangerous." "Everything since I met you has been dangerous," Evan replied gently. "I'm still here." Finally, she turned to look at him. Her eyes, usually cold and sharp, carried something new, something warm and scared and hopeful all at once. "The council will not defend you," she whispered. "Not tonight. They believe if Korvac kills you, the bond breaks. Their power remains untouched." Evan clenched his fists. So they're letting them attack? They're letting me die? They won't admit it. But yes. A heavy silence fell between them. Then Ariella stepped closer, her voice trembling with emotion. I won't let them touch you. Even if I must break every law we have. Evan touched her shoulder gently. Ariella, I never wanted to cause all this. The fights, the danger, the politics. She looked up at him. You didn't cause it. Our people did. And I am done letting them control every part of my life. Before Evan could answer, the entire palace shook. A thunderous roar echoed across the sky. A blast of red energy crashed against the shields, lighting up the city. They're here, Ariella said, drawing her blade. Evan grabbed the staff she had trained him with. The familiar weight grounded him. Together, they ran down the corridor and out into the palace. Courtyard. Chaos filled the night. Korvac soldiers flooded the outer gates. Their armor glowed with angry red lines, and their weapons crackled with unstable energy. Palace guards clashed with them, but the Korvac pushed forward relentlessly. Ariella moved like a flash of lightning. Her blade sliced through the first wave, cutting through armor with perfect precision. Evan followed behind her, blocking attacks, striking where he could, supporting her just like during the last battle. They fought back to back, their movements syncing as if they had trained for years instead of days. But the Korvac, commander twice the size of the others, stepped forward with a massive hammer of charged plasma. His voice boomed, echoing across the battlefield. Bring me the human. Tonight the bond ends. Evan felt fear twist inside him. The commander charged, slamming the hammer down. Evan jumped aside, but the shockwave threw him backward onto the ground. The commander lifted the hammer. Again Ariella rushed forward with a scream. She blocked the hammer with both arms, the impact sending a shattering crack across her armor. Ariella! Evan shouted. She staggered but did not fall. You will not touch him. She roared. The commander swung again. Ariella dodged and slashed, her blade cutting across his leg. He roared in pain. Evan forced himself back to his feet. He grabbed the broken remains of his staff and ran toward them, heart pounding. Ariella was strong, but she couldn't beat the commander alone. He swung the staff at the commander's head. It cracked against his helmet, staggering him for just a moment, just enough for Ariella to strike. Her blade pierced the weak point in the commander's chest armor. The giant fell to his knees, choking on his last breath. You, he growled, glaring at Evan. You were supposed to die. Evan met his gaze. Not tonight. The commander collapsed. With their leader dead, the Korvac soldiers froze. Their ranks broke. They retreated fast, disappearing into the night. The battle was over. Ariella lowered her blade. She breathed heavily, her armor cracked, her hair falling across her face. Evan approached her slowly. You saved my life, he whispered. Ariella looked at him softly. You saved mine first. Evan shook his head. No, tonight. We saved each other. Ariella stepped closer, so close he could feel her breath. Evan, she whispered, the bond was born from law. But tonight, I want it to be something else. He swallowed. What do you want it to be? Ariella reached out, her fingers brushing his cheek, a gentle touch, filled with meaning. I want it to be ours, she said. Not the council's, not my father's, not the clan's. Evan felt his chest warm. Ariella, I choose you. Not because of a law. Not because of duty. She met his eyes, silver glowing in the moonlight. But because you fought for me when no one else would. He finished. Ariella smiled a real, soft smile he had never seen before. She whispered, then we are bound. By choice. The first light of dawn began to rise behind them. Korvac had been defeated. The council would have to face the truth. The people would learn a new kind of bond, one made from heart, not rule. And Evan and Ariella, standing together on the blood-stained courtyard stones, knew this was only the beginning of something far greater than laws, clans, or destiny. It was the beginning of their story.